Bin, can you do the first one, please? We've been sharing the flat for a few days. We haven't something who's going to do which bits of housework yet. Which one do you think it is?
Hi. Good morning. I think it's C, work it out. No?
Yep, that's right. Yep, that's
Thank
right.
you.
We haven't worked out who's going to do which bits of housework. Can you do housework? Do you do housework?
Yes, I do housework.
Right. What sort of housework do you do?
Washing dishes after dinner.
What about vacuuming and doing the laundry? Do you know what a house husband is?
House husband. I think I do. I know it.
Yes. Share it with me.
House husband. It's the housework is majorly done by house husband.
All right. Let me give you a scenario. If you were married to a lady who can earn 100,000 US dollars a year, and you can only earn 30,000, would you be happy for her to go to work and for you to stay at home and look after the children and do the housework?
Yes, I would like to.
Good. So would I. But not everybody likes that. Some people say that they want to be the major breadwinner. I'm just typing breadwinner. What's a breadwinner?
Breadwinner. No, I don't know that. I don't know about this.
All right. The wife was the main breadwinner, and the husband stayed at home. Can you guess the meaning now?
Yes, I got you.
So what is it? What's a breadwinner?
A breadwinner is people who earn money for the home.
That's right. So they earn money. It's the main person who earns money for the home. Well, sometimes there's two breadwinners. For instance, my partner and I earn roughly the same, and we bring in the same. So neither of us is the main breadwinner. We both have an equal salary. Okay. Thank you, Min.
You're welcome.
Joe.
Hello.
We had to get our dog something last week. It had stomach cancer.
Oh,
what is your stomach?
I think your bowel.
All right. What's cancer?
What cancer? You may.
What is cancer?
a kind of gastric, and your cell becomes bad.
Yes. It's a type. We call it a growth. and sometimes they're benign growths. Benign means not malignant. If they are malignant, that means they're cancer. So a malignant growth is cancer. Okay? Now this dog has stomach cancer. Now, they had, what did they do? Got up, put down, worked out, or got off?
Got off.
Nope.
Put down.
Yep. What does it mean? That's correct. What does it mean?
Let her break. Take
kill
a
it.
break or. Oh.
It's called mercy killing.
Oh.
So if you get an animal put down, it means they killed it. So they probably gave it an injection, and we call it putting an animal down. It's also called mercy killing, or sometimes euthanasia. So the noun is euthanasia, and to euthanize. Or ZE, so you can say ISAS, but in America they said to euthanize somebody is to kill them. Now, what is another word for death or for dying? So somebody, we say somebody has died. What's another way of saying it which is less?
Passed away.
That's right, passed away. So this dog has been put down and it has passed away. Or more bluntly, this dog has been killed and it's dead. But we usually say put down and pass away. And do you have similar expressions or similar kinda expressions for, I'm just typing this, for death in Mandarin? So instead of saying this person has died, do you have other words which are kinder?
Yes.
So in English we say put
kinder.
down. Yeah, put down is kinder than kill.
Yes.
And pass away is kinder than dead. Do you have similar ways of saying things in your language?
What?
In Mandarin, are there similar ways of being kinder when you are talking about someone dying? I think we better have you put down.
Nah.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Winnie.
Yes.
We can't have you put down, you're too enthusiastic.
What?
Too good. We're not going to have you put down because you're too good. Can you do the next one, Winnie? Can you please stop something in front of others? It's so humiliating. What does humiliating mean?
Make me not comfortable.
That's right. So if, excuse me. So if you say something which is makes you feel bad, it's humiliating. Now, can you please stop something in front of others, getting me up, getting off me, putting me down and working me out?
Getting off me.
No.
I don't know.
Have a guess. It's one of these two. So 50-50.
Put me down.
Chance. That's right. So this is another way of using putting me down. So putting me down means I am humiliating you. So I don't want, but if I said to somebody, you know, you are really fat and ugly, and you don't do any work, that's putting them down. So that's it's humiliating them. So you see the difference in words here. So we've got put down as in kill somebody, and we've got put down as in humiliating somebody. So it depends on the context of how you use it. So if I said somebody has been putting Winnie down, we don't mean they've been killing you. We mean they've been saying nasty things about you. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Winnie. Dylan.
Hi. Hi.
And please something me, exclamation mark. Work your arms out. Get your hands off. Get up. Put down.
B 吗？
Which one?
B.
B, that's right.
Get your hands
So,
off.
that's right. So what does it mean, get your hands off me?
Please.
What am I doing to you if I have hands on you?
Help. Help me.
No. Different.
Help. Wait.
It's usually said angrily. And please get your hands off me.
And get. Oh, leave me alone.
Yeah. It usually means they're physically touching you. They could be attacking you or having a fight. So get your hands off me. That means that somebody's grabbed you.
Great.
Okay?
You.
It could also be used by a man and woman. For instance,
Man and woman.
if you're trying to kiss somebody, she can say, get your hands off me. In other words, stop it. So it can also be used in that way. Okay? It's usually negative.
Can you?
Thanks, Dylan.
Yes.
Minty, how are you?
Hello.
As a first-time offender, he's something with a caution rather than a fine. Now, what is a first-time offender? It's to do with criminals.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Is the answer C? A?
Yeah, but my question is, what's a first-time offender? And no, it's not A. Oh, sorry, yes, it is A.
Okay.
All right, but that's fine. So it is A. But what's a first-time offender?
He committed crime first time.
That's correct. So what does this mean? He got off, correct? With a caution rather than a fine.
He didn't pay money for his crime.
Yes, that's correct. So caution is a warning. And as you say, he did not have to pay money. So you could say, as someone who has never broken the law before, he got off with a warning rather than a fine. Okay?
Okay.
Now, what about you, Min? Are you a first-time offender? Or do you have a long criminal record?
No.
So no crimes yet?
Yes.
That's good. Thank you, Min. Should ask the teacher to do one, shouldn't I? Nicola. Sorry, Nicole.
Hi.
Hi, Nicole. To work out can mean... So the meaning of an unfamiliar word, to be effective, or to take strenuous exercise. Which one?
I think it's C. C.
All right. If I say no, it's not C. Try another one.
Any of the above.
Yeah, it's any of the above, correct. So it can, to work out means, yes, you take exercise. To have a good result, or to work out the meaning of something through context. Nicole, have you got the flu?
Yes.
Yeah, you sound like you have a croaky voice. Like a frog.
Thank you.
We say in English you have a frog. Just a minute, a frog in your throat. So it means you've got a squeaky voice and you're coughing.
But, Nicholas, that's not a very nice way to describe a lady's voice, right? It's more like you would apply it to a witch.
Well, I don't know, is Nicole a witch? I can't see her face, so I can't judge. No, it's just a humorous expression. It doesn't mean it's not offensive. You've got a frog in your throat. But yes, it's not sort of, it's not nice to have them. Nicole, do you do exercise?
Yes, I play volleyball.
Volleyball, that will keep you fit. Are you very tall?
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay, thank you.
If I
I think she's 5'1". That's quite
very-
petite, right?
Yeah, for a volleyballer, yes. They could use her as a ball,
Are you in
actually.
the school team? 你在校队吗？ Oh, okay.
Right. Now we're going to do the second half. Actually, no, we're not. Just a minute. Okay. Tina.
Hi.
What is the Nobel Prize?
Sorry, can you repeat
Yeah, I've
again?
written it there. What's the Nobel Prize?
Price?
Prize.
No.
Nobel Prize.
Uh, uh-huh.
So Tina, what's the Nobel Prize? Tina. All right, I'll come back and ask you another question in a minute, Tina. Right, so this lady is called Tu Yu or Yu, a pharmacologist with the China Academy of Chinese Medical Sciences, working to make artemisinin, a drug therapy for malaria in the 1980s. Right, Tina, this one's a nice hard one for you. What is a pharmacologist?
Someone study medicine.
Studies drugs. So a pharmacologist
Drugs.
is somebody that, yes, drugs, medicines.
Uh-huh.
Right, now, what do you think drug therapy for malaria means?
Therapy. To treat someone.
To treat someone for, and what's malaria?
Malaria. 疟疾. Oh, a disease caused by mosquito.
Correct. Now, is this a recent photograph? If not, why not?
Huh?
It's a recent photograph or an old photograph?
Uh-huh.
What?
Sorry, can you say again?
Yes, is this a recent photograph? So it's a recent photo or an old photo?
Old.
Yeah, how old?
It's in 1980s.
That's right, so about 30 years ago. That's before you were born, isn't it? Thank you, Tina. All right, so Nobel Prizes, all right, it should be traditional Nobel Prize awarded for traditional Chinese medicine. So then, now the Nobel Prize is a prize from Sweden, and it's from what's called a foundation that was set up by somebody called Alfred Nobel about 100 years ago. And he made a fortune, I'm typing this here, a fortune from TNT, and decided to donate that fortune to this prize. So I've typed all that here. So Alfred Nobel, he invented TNT. TNT is actually an explosive. So TNT is an explosive. And so he felt bad about creating something destructive. So he used his fortune, he used his fortune that he made from TNT to create the Nobel Prize. And there's several categories, like chemistry is one category. There is physiology and medicine. There is a Nobel Peace Prize, and each person who wins this gets, I think there's about $500,000 in US in the prize. So there's quite a lot of money. It's personal too. They can spend it on what they want, and also it's a sign of great prestige. So if you win the Nobel Prize, it's of great prestige. That means everybody thinks you're fantastic. So this Nobel Prize to Yu was from the Nobel Assembly. That's the people who control the prize now, at Sweden's Karolinska Institute, and it was announced last Monday that three of them had won one prize. So there's three people. There's China's Tu Yu. There's this William Campbell from Ireland, and Japan's Satoshi Omura. And these people have won the 2015 Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine. So that's a combined prize that can be awarded to somebody who's working in medicine or physiology. Physiology is how your body works, so your metabolism. So this person, Yu, she's won apparently half the prize for her discoveries concerning a novel therapy against malaria, which is this new drug called artemisinin or something like that. Right, now, where are we? Angela.
Hello.
Assuming the prize is $500,000, and if China's Yu got half, how much did the other two get?
$250,000
Each?
$125,000 each.
That's correct. That's right. So 125,000 each. Now, where are these people from? What countries? So we know 2 U's from China. Where are the other 2 from?
Ireland and Japan.
Right. Now, you know, malaria is due to mosquitoes. Do you have
Yes.
mosquitoes in Taiwan?
Yes, a lot.
Do you have malaria? In Taiwan?
No.
No? Okay. Now, what do you think novel therapy means? I'll tell you that therapy means a treatment, a drug treatment. What do you think the word novel means? N-O-V-E-L. It's used as an adjective here. So it's an adjective. So what do you think it means, a novel therapy?
New.
Yes, new or different. So it can actually mean new, but it can also mean something that has never been thought of before. Because remember, this stuff has been around for a long time. So it's novel. Nobody's used it for malaria. Malaria is a nasty disease. Thank you, Angela. It kills quite a few people in every year in the hot areas of the world. Now, the antifebrile effect. Rita, I'm going to ask you what antifebrile means in a minute. So that's a question to Rita. Antifebrile. Okay? So that's a Rita question. So this effect of this Chinese herb, Artemisia annusa or something, or Qinghaoshu, I don't know how to say that, or sweet wormwood, was known 1700 years ago. So it's been around a while, this herb. 2 was the first to extract. Extract means take out or get out the biologically active component. So extract means get out. The biologically active means the component of the herb. The component is the part of the herb that has a biological effect. So this thing, artemisinin, is the bit in the herb or the chemical that is actually has an effect on humans, the biologically active bit. And clarify, make clear how it works. The result was a paradigm shift in the medical field that allowed for this artemisinin to be both clinically studied and produced on a large scale. Now, the word the phrase paradigm shift. A paradigm, D-I-G-M, is a belief. So, to be Chen.
Hi, Nicholas.
Do you think that the sun will rise tomorrow?
Uh, 90%.
Right, I think it's higher than 90. You are a pessimist. So you could say that's a paradigm. The sun will definitely rise tomorrow. So a paradigm is something that a group of people believe. So a paradigm shift means that this paradigm will change. So they didn't know that this artemisinin worked on malaria. So it's going to change all doctors' beliefs about it. And now she's succeeded in isolating this stuff, extracting it. And what is going to be, now that they've found it, what are the scientists going to do with it? If you want. Take. Just use one. Sorry, that was to my mother. So, what are the effects? We found artemisinin in. What are the two effects of this discovery? What are the scientists going to do with this drug?
To both study and produce.
Correct. What does biologically active mean? So there's this herb. The herb. Okay, what's a herb?
Oh, bless.
A what?
A kind of grass.
Well, it's it's like it's a plant. How do you say this? Chen?
他叫我念吗？青蒿素。
青蒿素。Okay.
青蒿素。
青蒿素. All right. You said 青蒿素. All right. Obviously, my Chinese is better than yours.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Now, you've got a herb. 青蒿素 or 青蒿素. It's called sweet wormwood in English. They've known about this herb for 1700 years. And this lady, too, was the first to extract, or we say isolate, to get out. Now, the biologically active component. So what does biologically active mean? Yes.
You say biologically active.
Yeah, read what I've typed there.
The chemical in a herb that has effect on your body's metabolism.
Excellent answer. Now, say this word. In English.
Artemisini.
That's a good, yeah. I think it is. Yeah. Artemisinin, something like that. Thank you, Jen. Rita?
You're welcome.
Hi.
Antifebrile effect. What does that mean?
Effective against fever.
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 So what is a fever? So what's a fever?
The temperature increase.
All right. What's your normal temperature, Rita? What is the normal body temperature? How many degrees centigrade?
37.
Right, 37. Now, Rita, if you had the flu, would your temperature increase?
Yes.
Would you get a fever? Right. Correct. Now, would I therefore, if you had the flu, Rita, would I say Rita is hot?
Hot.
So Rita, would I say you're hot, or would I say Rita has a fever?
I think hot mean a sexy girl.
That's correct. Or a sexy man. That's right. So yes. So we would normally say that, somebody has a fever. And yes, another word for fever is febrile. It's a medical word, and antifebrile is anti-fever. What does anti mean? If something is anti, what's the opposite word? So if anti means, well, what does anti mean? Tell me.
Against.
That's right, against. And you can talk about pro as being for. So we say the pros and cons. And if you like, anti is a con. But pros and cons are fors and against something. But anti has a negative effect. Thank you, Rita. All right. Tu has always said that she drew her inspiration from the medical text of a 4th century Chinese physician alchemist named Ge Hong. Now, circa means around. So circa is a word that you won't say it, but you'll see it written, and it's a Latin word, and it means approximately or around a given time or date. So circa 283 to 343, that's roughly the his lifetime. So in the West, we say 283 BC, before Christ, or we sometimes see BCE, before the Common Era. So that is roughly in the 3rd century. So we say BCE because some people aren't Christian, so we don't say before Christ, we say before the Common Era beginning in year 0. That's just a way to get round the anti-Christian feelings of some people like Muslims. So this was around 1700 years ago. This guy inspired this lady. Flower.
Hi.
You realize your name is a herb, Flower?
It's my nickname.
Alright, your nickname, that's good. We should call you Herb instead. Alright. Herb. Actually, sorry, Flower. What does this mean? Drew her inspiration from?
Make her have interest in it.
That's right. So drew it motivated her. So this old fellow was around nearly to Gay Hong. She thinks he's very inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
So who do you draw your inspiration from?
My father.
That's good. Was he around circa 283?
Pardon?
Was he around in the year 283?
什么意思啊？ Of course not. You are kidding.
No, that's good. I am kidding, correct. Or I'd be very old, Flower. Thank you. Right. Now, there's something else that marks Tu as extraordinary. So she's an extraordinary person as compared to 2 fellow Nobel laureates for medicine. Now, Nobel laureate is a way of saying the people who have been given the prize, or the Nobel Prize. So a Nobel laureate, I've just typed this here, the Nobel laureate is a person or persons awarded the Nobel Prize. So this year's Nobel Prize for medicine, there's 3 of them. There's 2 UU, there's William Campbell and and Satoshi Omura. So these are the 3 Nobel laureates. Laureate is a word that means a winner. It's not used very much. It's really only used for Nobels, actually. So the Nobel laureate for medicine. She embodies, that means she, in her example, so she embodies in both her history and her research what may be called medical bilingualism. So she is an example of medical bilingualism. She embodies it in her history and her research. And medical bilingualism is the ability not only to read in 2 languages, 2 medical languages, but also to understand their different histories, their conceptual differences, and also, more importantly, for this unexpected news, potential value for therapeutic interventions in the present. Now, what's this saying is there's several things here. So, medical bilingualism. This lady speaks, well, actually, let's talk to somebody. Bug Jen.
Hey, hi.
What languages does this lady speak?
Chinese.
And
English.
yeah, likely speaks English too. Now, so she can read. Now, that's called bilingualism. So, Bug, you speak English to some extent. You also speak Chinese or Mandarin. So you are bilingual. So, actually, bilingual usually means you learn it as a young child. So if you learn, Bug, if you learnt English from a child, would you be a native speaker of English?
Yes.
All right, bilingual usually means that you are a native speaker of two languages. So just because you speak a bit of English now, you're not necessarily bilingual. So bilingual means you're completely fluent in both languages. Now anyway, they're calling this medical bilingualism. And why are they calling it that? So they said medical bilingualism. Why are they calling it that?
She can. Oh.
Why medical bilingualism?
She can read in two different medical language.
Correct. So she can read Western medical language. She can also read Chinese traditional medical language. Now, Bug, if you were sick, do you want Western medicine or Chinese medicine?
Western medicine.
Both have use. So sometimes Chinese medicine. Do you use acupuncture?
What's that?
You don't know what acupuncture is? Little needles.
Oh, I don't like that.
All right. Well, anyway, she's medically bilingual. And he says, most importantly for this unexpected news, what's this referring to, unexpected news? What news? So what's it referring to?
For she get the Nobel Prize.
Correct. Apparently this was not expected. I didn't know about this until today, actually, when Pearl told me. But it's unusual for people in China to get medical prizes, and particularly where they're in Chinese medicine, because a lot of Western medicine doesn't think much of traditional medicine. They say that it's not proven. All right, thank you, Bug. So the last paragraph, this medical bilingualism is a quality that current researchers mining the same fine line. Mining here is used, if you like, digging or using. So the current research is using this same sort of technique to, there's a fine line means, well, it could go either way. So it just depends on your belief. So a fine line, that we might say there is a fine line between murder and mercy and euthanasia. Now remember, sorry, E-U-T-H-A-N. Now remember, euthanasia is mercy killing. So I'm writing my example here. Euthanasia is mercy killing. So there's a fine line between murder and euthanasia. Shannon.
Hi.
Hi, Shannon. What do you think that means, there's a fine line between murder and euthanasia?
You said what's the fine line?
Yeah.
What? I don't know how to explain.
Go on, try.
You mean what's the
Right, Shannon,
murder and...
do you agree with euthanasia? So somebody has cancer, they're dying, should we kill them?
Yeah. The patient can decide it.
No,
Herself,
I'm asking
herself.
you.
No.
Do you think that doctors should kill patients who are dying?
No.
Right.
But if the patient wants to die...
Yeah, that's fine. So there's a fine line. We have murder. We have euthanasia. It depends on your view. It depends on
me.
on your... So you say, all right, I don't necessarily agree with euthanasia. Now, is euthanasia allowed in Taiwan?
No.
All right, so in Taiwan it's murder. Same, it is murder in Australia. So there's a fine line. You have to be careful.
Oh.
If people can kill themselves, but you can't help them. So there's a fine line between it. So you can say, yes, I agree, but I can't do it, or it's murder. So fine line means it depends on the view, and you've got to look at things, both sides, and decide. Thank you, Shannon. So here, the fine line is between empirical, that's experimental, so empirical knowledge is knowledge gained from experiments, so the empirical. Actually, sorry, I have to put this in or the empirical knowledge of traditional medical traditions. So empirical means established over many, many years of testing, and the highest level of modern biomedical science. So I'm just trying to make sense of this sentence. It's all right, so it's saying that this medical bilingualism is a quality. Not everybody has it, and these people that sit, some say, right, we agree with traditional Chinese medicine. Some say, well, we prefer modern Western biomedical science. There's a fine line, depends on your beliefs, and this medical bilingualism this ability to look at medicine with two different languages, these people on either side of this line will be lucky to share this quality. So very few people can do it. So not many people are experienced both in Western medicine, biomedical science, and in traditional medical. So there's very few people, and so 2UU is a very special person. Okay. Are there any questions about this?
Nicholas, I want to add something to why I choose
Yep.
this article. Another thing is, she has never studied abroad. She doesn't have a PhD degree, right? And no SCI papers. So it's really opposite, contrary to what people's belief in our scholastic field. Another thing is that because she's a female, and I guess a lot of male scientists aren't that happy. And also I think they raised a question to why was she awarded such an honorable, award. So I think that really deserves our attention and understanding. Perhaps I think, from a Western point, they can understand why she is awarded this honor. But many Chinese, they are still in a fog, understanding it, because of her contribution to the field. And
Yeah.
This news has not received much coverage on our newspaper. And I was hoping you can shed some light on our students.
Not had any publicity here either, because I do watch the news at least once a day, and I've heard nothing about this, which is quite interesting. Unless it was very recent.
Another thing is that here the Chinese medicine is not that popular because here there tend to be some steroid mix in Chinese medicine. So people are not that people are not that they don't really believe in the descriptions. Especially there are many herbicides in the Chinese plants in mainland China. So this really comes as a very welcome news.
Yeah. Well, it also shows the objectivity, if you like, the non-bias of the Nobel Committee.
Yeah.
Because usually it has always gone to people, as you say, with degrees, who were very academic. And I didn't know that she wasn't qualified. So very interesting.
She has stayed in this field for that long, and also because of her contribution to the disease of malaria. It's not going to, it will be extinct in a few years from the earth.
Well, that would be good, because I believe it kills around 2 million people every year in the equatorial areas. Yeah.
Okay.
The equator. Yes, Africa and the Philippines and I believe some parts of China.
And she's 84 years now.
Is she?
So
She's 84.
Yeah, she's 84. Yeah, so she's come quite a long way. Okay, so we want to take a break, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. 10 minutes?
All right. Yeah, 10 minutes. All right, so this is a continuation of the text about New Zealand milk that we started last week.
Okay.
Right, so Dave Baker, remember he's a farmer, doesn't depend on China. Most of his milk goes to Japan. And that's not the only thing that makes him different from those Kiwi dairy farmers. So there's two different, actually, where are we up to? Sam. Wakey. Sam, what's a kiwi?
Fruit.
Yes, but a Kiwi dairy farmer, what's that, a fruity dairy farmer? Kiwi's a New Zealander. Sam, have you heard of Clark Kent?
Yes.
You look a bit like a Taiwanese Clark Kent. Have you got a secret identity? You look very tired.
A bit.
You must be working too hard. Thank you, Sam. All right. So there's two things about this fellow. Actually, Sylvia.
Hello.
You look more alert than poor Sam. Sorry, Shelley. I've got the wrong one. Sorry. No, Shelley, you'll do then. Shelley, what are the two things, Dave Baker, what are the two special things about him that make him different from most dairy farmers? There's two things. So, make him different from most, actually, alright, sorry. So, Shelley, I'll come back to you in a minute. I haven't actually done it yet. Just bear with me. I'll come back in a minute. Sorry. So, most of his milk goes to Japan, and the second thing is the cows. So he says, the cows will all work while I party on. Party on means while he just gets on with his life. Dave gave him a lift through cow country. He drives fast and he works hard, running a high-density feed farm. Now his property is worth $4.2 million, and he reckons it's one of the best dairy farming land in the country. The profits he made in the dairy boom have brought him plenty of big boys' toys. Shelley, I'm going to ask you what that means in a minute. Big boys' toys. You'll probably be able to find it, but I'll go to the end before I do it, and then I'll ask you what big boys' toys is, okay? So that's the question for Shelley. Now, the engine is worth about $5,000. This is my leisure bus for when we're partying. After all, what dairy farm is complete without a party bus? Dave told me that if the market for milk sours, so this is a play on words. He's saying milk goes sour. If you leave milk out of the fridge, it will go sour. That means go off. It'll smell within perhaps 24 hours. So sour means it tastes disgusting. You've probably seen rotten milk. It smells and it's disgusting. That's called sour milk. So even if the market sours, he'll be fine. He inherited the farm. The land is valuable. It's invaluable. Invaluable means its worth is not able to be calculated. So if something is invaluable, it's more than valuable. You can't calculate the value. It's just beyond value, according to the environmental activist and economist Gareth Morgan. So Gareth is talking. When you do the surveys of what people think in the environment you're using, fresh water is actually number one by a mile. So that's way ahead of everything else. It's much greater than pest eradication and climate change. And so this is why this guy Morgan, he's an environmentalist, he's saying that fresh water is very, very important to the land. Now, unfortunately, according to this environmentalist, he says Kiwis are really proud of their pure reputation for water and so on, but he fears the famous brand, that's Kiwis, that's New Zealand, is now at risk because of this dairy farming boom. Now he's saying that putting more and more cows per hectare is a measure of how big your land is. I think a hectare is 1,000 meters by 1,000 meters. I may be wrong, but that's a hectare. It could be 100 by 100. But it's a measure of area of land. We use a different measure in New Zealand. More and more fertilizer, and here's your nitrogen problem. So we're bursting at the seams in terms of capacity. Now, we'll start at the top and go down. Sylvia this time.
Hi.
Hi, Sylvia. If you put more and more cows on land, what's the problem? What problem do lots of cows produce lots of what?
Because it
Yeah, they
many poo-poo.
so they eat the grass. That's right,
Yes.
poo.
And
And what else do they produce? There's a particular gas. There's another gas that they produce that is bad for the atmosphere. It begins with M and ends in sane.
I don't know.
Methane.
What's that?
Yeah. It's a greenhouse gas.
Oh.
So it's like CO2, and it's bad for the environment. So lots of poo and lots of meat. Anyway, the poo on the land, nitrogen is in poo. So all these cows pooing on the land, there's too much nitrogen. What's fertilizer? Why do they put fertilizer on ground or on land?
It's a chemical thing to grow the plants.
Yep, that's right. It grows, or it makes the land fertile. It makes you grow more grass. Now, you're talking about cows. Too many cows on two, so you have land a hectare, and there's too many cows on it. What does it mean? They're bursting at the seams in terms of capacity. So it's referring to cows, but what does it mean? Tell me. Bursting at the seams in terms of capacity. Now, just before you do, Sylvia, imagine a very large person, so a big fat person. If a big fat person wears tight clothes, inside the clothes there are seams. So a seam is the stitches in clothes. So if you have a very large person and the clothes are tight, the seams are stretched. Are you with? Do you understand?
I can't understand it.
You can or can't?
Oh, I know. I can.
All right. Just a minute. Okay. I'm just trying to find a picture that's not offensive. This will do. So this person is, we can say, if this was a shirt and it had buttons, if these were buttons, we can say he's bursting at the seams. So he's going to explode. So that the seam is the stitches along something. So if he's bursting the seams, he's too big. So if we go back to this, sorry, wait a minute. So if you think of cows in a field, what does it mean, bursting at the seams in terms of capacity? What seams?
Maybe the medicine. The medicines will make the guy first.
Yeah, the fields are full of too many cows. So we're bursting at the bursting at the seams is referring to too many cows, because the field is only small, and if you have one cow, that's fine. But if you have lots and lots and lots of cows, the field's going to burst. Okay, so yes. Bursting at the seams. Right, now, what is fresh water?
Is a clear water.
All right, what's its
clean
opposite?
Water.
So that's clean water, but also something else. What's the opposite of fresh water? What sort of water have you got in the sea?
In the sea is very unclean. Dirty.
Not
it's
unclean.
Very dirty. Yes.
Salt water.
Oh.
Now, which can you drink salt water?
No, I don't.
Right. No, I know you don't, but why can't you drink it?
Clean water.
Yeah, but why can't you drink salt water? Salt water can be clean, but why can't you drink it?
Oh. I can't drink it because our blood have many water and it will be sometimes.
Correct. Correct. It will make you sick and kill you. Because if you have salty water, it will act, as you say, I won't go into that, but yes, it gets into your blood and it can kill you. So you don't want that. So fresh water is what you need to drink. Do you drink a lot of water?
Yes.
What else do you drink? So water, tea, coffee.
Water.
Anything else?
Water.
Only water. Only
no.
water.
I drink coffee and tea a little.
What about Coca-Cola and soft drinks?
No, I don't like it.
Oh, that's good. They're saying that soft drinks are bad for you. All right, thank you, Sylvia.
Thank you.
Right. Shelley.
Hello.
Have you worked out what big boys' toys are?
The big boy toy is his.
Yes. What sort of things do men like? Apart from women.
I don't know.
All right.
Oh.
Would you like to drive that?
Yes.
Oh, you're supposed to say no. But most men say, "Oh, I love bikes and I love cars." So, if I put cars into Google, this, unfortunately or fortunately,
Fortunately.
wait a minute. This is using sex to sell a car. Now, this is quite common in the West. We often see models with that look like this to sell a car. She has no relevance to the car whatsoever. Now, do you think a male would like that car? It's got a 5-litre engine, and it's a sports car. Do you think a man would like that?
Yes.
Right, would you? Well, this is the sort of thing we call big boys' toys. They're expensive. Women often want a car, but they don't want a big car. They just want a little car. You may be different, I don't know. But anyway, a big boy's toy, the engine's worth about $5,000. $5,000 is $5,000. I'm talking about US dollars. So the engine alone is worth $5,000. And he calls it his leisure bus. So this is actually a car, and you'll see this when I play the video in a few minutes. But big boys' toys are things that men, when they grow up, they just buy them because they can. So Shelley, when you become an old lady in 40 years or 50 years, what sort of car will you have when you're an old lady? When you're 70?
Toyota.
Toyota? I see. All right, will it be a big Toyota or a little Toyota?
Oh, yes.
All right, thank you, Shelley. Anyway, so the two things that make him different are that most of his milk goes to Japan. Remember last week, most of the other milk went to China. And he has a big boy's toys. He's worth a lot of money. He can afford a very expensive car, as you'll see. Now, because more farms means more cows means more waste. That's poo. So waste is poo. That contains nitrogen. So poo contains nitrogen and phosphorus. When they leach into rivers and lakes, this leach means get into. So the poo, the nitrogen and phosphorus, they go into the land, and they go into the land or into the soil, and then they go into the water. And this process of going from cow to land to water is called leaching. So leach into rivers just means get into. Water quality suffers. So if you have too much nitrogen and phosphorus in your water quality goes down. That's the worry for New Zealand's Parliamentary Commission for the Environment, who are already warning of increased stresses. Stresses are things that make things bad. They're already warning of increased stresses to water quality. There's talk of regular sanctions if farmers don't work harder. Sanctions here means penalties, like a fine or something. So a sanction here is a penalty. So if farmers don't take care of the environment, they will be sanctioned. They will be given a fine or something like that. Now the question is, which is more important, the environment or the economy? Lao. La? Lay? Lay. Sorry. Can't read the name. Lay?
Maybe both are important.
I think that's a good answer. You have to have a balance. A few weeks ago, I told you about the word equilibrium. I'm just typing this, equilibrium. Equilibrium means balance. So if you have an equilibrium between the environment and the economy, it's the best way to go, because countries do need to make money. They also need to have a good environment. If you ever go to New Zealand, it's a beautiful green country. I lived there for 10 years when I was about your age. I went to university in New Zealand, and it's a very wonderful country to live, especially as a young person. Anyway, it's certainly being posted like that by a lot of people, the environment, the economy. If we continue our current dairy practice and we don't adapt, it will be a bit environment versus economy. So if there's not a balance made, there's going to be a war between the environment and the economy. The problem's big, particularly with the teaching from the leaching. So we're talking about this problem here, leaching of particularly nitrogen into the rivers. And I think what's required is a change in farming methods, less intensive farming. Less intensive means a decrease in the cows per hectare. Lei, do you know what a hectare is? Do you use that measure in Taiwan?
Yes.
Oh, it's 10,000 square. Yeah, so it's 1,000. So it's 10,000. So it's 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. So it's 1,000 by 1,000. So it's 10,000 square meters. So What's the problem with too many cows per hectare, eh? What will happen? Too many cows on a hectare, what happens?
Water problems.
That's right. Due to too much nitrogen from poo. Now, that is a reference word here. Lay. It said that contains nitrogen and phosphorus. What's it referring to?
Sorry, I don't know.
Right, well, what contains nitrogen and phosphorus? This is called working out the meaning of something from the context. So it's referring to waste because it said that contains nitrogen and phosphorus. What contains it? More waste, okay? So it's referring back to waste. All right? Thanks, Lay.
Okay. Thank you.
Right, so it says less intensive farming. Jerry.
Hi.
What is less intensive farming? What are they being less intense about?
I don't know.
Think about number of cows in a field. Think about the number of cows in a field.
I think it means keep the number down of the cow.
That's right, keep the number down, because so less intensive means do not put as many cows in the field as high intensive. So high intensive farming means lots of cows, and we want low intensive or less intensive. So less cows means less waste, and that's what they're trying to do, because less waste means we keep water quality. Okay, Jerry, have you ever wanted to be a farmer?
No.
Why not?
No.
I think you make a good farmer. Farmer Jerry. Why don't you want to be a farmer?
Because I don't like to be in the under the sun. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So we're talking about, now there's a Trevor Hamilton. He reckons he's a farmer, he spent $250,000 in the last couple of years on this couple of farms. Now, he says that are in the catchment in terms of lined effluent ponds. Now, an effluent pond is, catchment is an area where something accumulates. Accumulates means gathers. So the catchment effluent is poo. So an effluent pond is poo. So he is saying that he's in this catchment area of these ponds, and he tests effluent. He tests how deep it is. So if you've got a pond, this guy's testing how deep the poo is in the, or how bad the water is. Now Trevor lives on he works on a farm, but he also lives on a lake, a clean lake. So he works on a farm, he lives on a lake, but the lake's clean. So farmers aren't all that bad. It is possible for farmers to farm but still have clean water. So he says we, being a farmer, we tend to get the blame a lot. And it's not always justified. It's not always correct that farmers produce problems. And the reporter said, is it unusual for this lake to be so clean, given it's surrounded by dairy farms? So we have a lake. Shannon, what's a lake?
A place that there's a lot of water.
Mm. Can you swim?
Yes.
How well?
Pretty well, maybe.
Mm. Where did you learn, at home or school? To swim?
My mom taught me and my dad taught me before, then I learned in the swimming pool either too.
Mm. Are there public swimming pools in Taiwan?
Yeah.
Right. Do Taiwan people go swimming at the beach?
You mean, is there many people go to the beach?
Yes.
Pretty much, maybe.
Do they even buy sharks like in Australia?
No.
No. Okay. Thank you, Shannon.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, he says, this guy Trevor, he says, right, just because we're farmers, we can still be good farmers. And the fact he lives next to a lake means that not all dairy farmers are bad, are polluters. The last slide. He told me, so he being this guy Trevor, he told him, the reporter, it's in his best interests to look after the environment. So he's saying it's in his best interest means something like it's in his favor. It's something good for him to look after the environment, because if he looks after the environment, he looks after his business. The future of his family and dairy farming depends on it. So Trevor has got big plans for his grandkids too. Have a drink of milk, mate. It's good for you. It's got to be good for that milk. So now his theory, this is the dairy farmer, is that global demand will rise and fall. So this is talking about milk. It'll go up and down. But Trevor's not going anywhere. He believes for the smart dairy farmer, the grass will always be greener in New Zealand. Jason.
Hello.
We have an expression in English that says the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. What do you think that means? So the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence.
You will always not satisfy what you have. You were jealous on other people's things.
That's right. You're always jealous of what somebody else has. Now he says the grass will always be greener in New Zealand. Now, do you know anything about New Zealand? Do you know anything about New Zealand? What do you know?
It's a beautiful island, and it has lots of animals, and it's very nature, and it has a volcano, and I have lots of.
That's
sheep.
right. Yeah, sheep, not sheeps. Now,
Oh, sheep. Sheep. Oh, sheep.
this is New Zealand. Now, note that the sky is clear. The water is clean. The grass is green. And actually, I believe there's 63 million sheep in New Zealand. And only 4 million humans. Big difference. So there's a lot of sheep jokes about New Zealand. And I'm not allowed to tell them because they're all dirty jokes about New Zealanders and sheep. But anyway, it's a very good picture of New Zealand. When I was your age, I used to go what we called hiking. Do you know what hiking is?
Yes, go to mountain and just walk it.
That's right. It's also called tramping. So so a few of us would take backpacks, and we'd go walking up mountains, walking down mountains, walking across fields, and camping in tents. That's the sort of thing you do, and New Zealand was a very nice place to do that. The only thing was it's cold. And it's wet. It's very cold and very wet. But that aside, it's a great place to live. All right. Now, just to finish this off, thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
So the grass is always greener. Life's good in New Zealand for most people. For me, it's $140 million, $50 million business today. He wants to double it. So this guy's ambitious. That means he's going places. He's motivated to do something. He wants to make a lot of money. So he wants to double it in the next, so he wants, let's say 150 million. So it'll be 300 million, and then if he's lucky, 600. It's been our rate of growth, so a high rate of growth of his industry. So I want to continue with that as long as I'm capable. We're chasing a rainbow, and the rainbow has no end. Joe, what's a rainbow?
Rainbow is after the rain, and you can see it in at the sky.
Yeah.
And it is colorful.
What? Yeah. What are the 7 colors?
Sorry?
What are the 7 colors in a rainbow?
红橙黄绿蓝靛紫 and then red, orange, yellow, blue, green, purple, indigo.
That's what we call the colors in the West. I'm not really sure what color indigo is. All right, it's a sort of a purple. So That is indigo. It's like a sort of a bluey purple to me.
And what is purple? And what is purple?
I think purple.
I think
is
we are
deeper,
more
doesn't it?
familiar with. We
Yeah.
are usually more familiar with purple.
Yeah. So if you look at that color and then compare it to when I put purple into Google, it, sorry, it didn't work. Just a minute.
And also show us the color of violet.
So purple is lighter than this. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble. Just let me. So if you look at that, that's a sort of a dark bluey purple, and this one that's purple. So it's lighter. It's a lighter color than indigo. So anyway, getting back to the question which I was going to ask this man.
Another thing. No, Nicholas.
Yeah. Yep.
Nicholas, go back to the color. And what would be the color of violet? Violet? No.
Just a minute. If you put violet into Google, it brings up underclothes. You see, violet's very similar, all these colors, because if you put in violet, it comes up with this. Just a minute. So they're saying that is violet. So indigo, violet, and purple are all similar.
Okay, they are similar, but you don't use the word purple, right? You use indigo and violet.
Yeah, we say those colors are what we learnt from school. So red, orange, yellow, blue, green, indigo, and violet. So indigo is a deeper color than violet. So it's interesting. So that's violet and that's indigo. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Another break?
Okay. Yeah. No, just 1 minute. I want.
Assign people first.
Not yet. I want you to tell me what chasing a rainbow means. Joe? So if you're chasing a rainbow, what does it mean?
Catching a rainbow. 就是追那个。Oh, it means that you have a dream and
you're always chasing.
You have a dream and you wanted to. Yeah, you're always chasing it.
So
That's right.
What's this guy's dream?
Yeah. After his dream.
That's right. So his dream is to keep expanding the size of his farm.
Yes.
Pearl, were you going to ask me a question? Thanks, Joe.
I was thinking, can you sing the famous song to them? Somewhere
What famous
over the
song?
rainbow?
I can't sing it, but I can find it on YouTube. That's somewhere over the rainbow.
Okay.
Da-da-dee. I
Way
can't remember.
up
That's about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was from
because
school.
you are asking. Yeah, right. Because you are asking them a question, they are not that familiar with that novel.
Chasing Rainbows.
Children's story. Yeah, right. So it seems we are
Right.
the only two that know the song.
That's sad, isn't it? Okay, let's have a 5-minute break, Phil.
Okay. Okay. Done?
All right.
But I don't see. Yeah.
Can we start that
Where's
playing
the
when you're
first
ready?
five? Where are
Sorry,
the first
sorry.
5 questions? The first
Oh,
5?
the first 5 are what we did last week.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I think. I hope. Yes, that's right. Could you start that playing when you're ready, Greg?
It's the best dairy farming land in the country. The profit center.
Okay. Why is David Baker different to other milk farmers?
Hi teacher, I'm Lei. And because David sells his milk to Japan.
Yep. And he likes fast cars. Okay.
Yes.
Shelley, remember, big boys' toys. So his big boys' toys is his fast car. I'm just sorry. I just told somebody. Well, what do big boys' toys mean?
Hey teacher, I'm Dylan. That
So what does it mean?
big car.
More than that. Things men like to have, like big cars. What else? Give me another example of a big boy's toy.
Gun.
Possibly. That's fine. Why is there a possible environmental problem with dairy farming?
I am Chen Yi Chen. The cows, the menu of cows,
That's right.
into the
What do they
water, and N and P pollute the water.
That's correct. Pollute.
Pollute.
That's right. To pollute water. That's polluting or to pollute.
Thank.
Okay.
Mm.
Right.
Thank you.
What's the reason that Trevor Howard blows the theory about dairy farmers being producers?
Hello, I'm Joe.
And
I'm not Joe Jiang. I'm Joe Lin. Because there's a lake around at his house, but the water was very clean.
That's right. So he's surrounded by dairy farms, he's got clean water. And what plans does this guy have for the future of his dairy farm?
Hello, Nicholas. I'm Herb. And
Hello,
he
Herb.
want to extend his business, or
That's right. He wants to double it.
yeah.
And double it again. That's a good way to be. Okay, thank you. Now, have we any questions, Pearl?
No, I don't think so. But okay, one small question. How can you tell a person from Australia from a person from New Zealand? They talk differently.
Sometimes by their accent. The New Zealanders have a sort of they say
Can you mimic
instead of
them?
hill, they say heel. And instead of sick,
Okay.
they often say sick, like sounds like sex. So I have 6 wives. They have 6 wives. Who are he,
Okay.
but they sort of extend the E sound and the I sound.
And I
Yeah, but it's hard for people that don't speak English to appreciate that. But you can tell New Zealanders if you're living in Australia. But the Australians, it's like, "G'day, mate, how are you?" That's the traditional Australian accent. It's sort of, "G'day, it's a nice day today, isn't it?" It's rather sort of, we say coarse. It's not very nice. Common.
Okay.
All right. Well,
So
shall we have a break
okay,
till next week then, Pearl?
What? Say that again. What break?
Shall we have a break?
We
till
had a
next
break
week?
earlier. We had a break earlier. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and next
break
week?
now.
Until next week.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
We'll
have
have
a
a
good week,
break
everybody.
until next week. Okay.
Bye-bye.